Lesson 5-4, Solving Inequalities. This is just like solving equations, and we're even going to go back to some that are one step. The only difference is with inequalities, you're going to graph your solution on a number line, and some of the rules are, the first one is that you have to have the variable on the left. That's how you get to graph correctly by our graphing rules. So let's look at our first example. A plus 7 is greater than 18. Oh, another thing that's really important is when you give your answer, it's not just a number that's the answer. It's the letter, the symbol, and the number. It all has to be involved in inequalities. It makes a huge difference. It's not like equations where the answer is just one number. It's the whole set of the letter, the symbol, and the number. So A plus 7 is greater than 18. Anybody want to try this? These are like one-step inequalities. Dakota? So you're going to show subtracting 7 on both sides. And just like an equation, below it you bring down what you have left, which is what, Dakota?
A and then 18.
A, the 7's cancel out, greater than 18 minus 7 is 11. Okay, so that's your solution. A is greater than 7. So Dakota, on my number line, we're just going to put 11. Now what?
You said A is greater than 7.
A is greater than 11. Thank you. A is greater than 11. So I'm going to put 11 on the number line. Now what? Open circle, shade it right. That's what you're going to do today. If the variable is not on the left, just like that first problem, or I'm sorry, second problem, 17 less than or equal to x minus 4, you know what you can do? Switch the whole problem around right off the bat and do this. I'm going to put x minus 4 on the left. I'm going to put 17 on the right. What do you think about the inequality symbol? You got to flip it so that it's pointing, still pointing at the 17. You see how it's pointing at the 17 right there? Make sure it's still pointing, so you're going to flip the whole thing around. So who wants to solve x minus 4 greater than or equal to 17? Layla, what should I do? Add 4 on each. And now what?
4, 4, 5,
Right?
and then 17 plus 4 is
21.
And then bring the leftover down, so
X is greater than or equal to 21. So on my number line, I'm going to put a 21. Now what?
you have to make a circle and be shaded into the
Close circle, shade right. Okay, questions about that? So really, we're going back to one-step equations, and they're not equations; they're inequalities. Tomorrow we'll add a little bit more to it. Anybody still writing the blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, let me scroll down here a little bit. Now, the next problem, it has a double sign, so we cannot deal with that double sign very well. So remember the rules on double signs. If they're the same, you just make it 1 plus. If they're different, you just make it 1 minus. So Trayton, what's this one going to be?
You add 4 or subtract 4.
Well, let's rewrite it so that there's not two signs. So,
N plus 4.
yeah, n plus 4 greater than or equal to.
-8.
Okay, now let's solve it.
Minus 4.
Minus 4 on both sides. Okay.
Writing down N greater than or equal to 12.
Negative 12. N greater than or equal to negative 12. So I'm going to put negative 12 on here.
Closed circle to the right.
Close circle, shade right. They've all been right. Okay, good. There's one more thing. So in addition that you've got to have the variable on the left, there's one more thing, that if you multiply or divide you must flip around the inequality. Okay, now it says it's only the number with the variable. So in other words, the number you multiply or divide with, not if there's just a negative in the problem, that doesn't mean you have to do it, but the number that you multiply or divide with has to be negative. When it is, you flip around the inequality. So negative 3x is less than or equal to 12. This is a multiplication, negative 3 times x, so you're going to divide both sides by negative 3. Once I say or think to myself, I'm dividing by a negative anything, I should flip around from less than to greater than. It has to be flipped around. It's not less than anymore. The negative 3's cancel, and x is greater than. 12 divided by negative 3 would be negative 4. So I would put a negative 4 on my number line, and it is an open circle this time, shaded right. Okay, what about that one over there? A divided by negative 6 is greater than or equal to 7. What's going to happen with that? A over negative 6 greater than or equal to A equal to 7. Haley, what should I do?
We're gonna multiply negative 6 by 6.
We're going to multiply both sides by, what number do we want to get rid of?
6, negative 6.
Negative 6. You're going to multiply both sides by negative 6. And when we say multiply by negative, this is going to get turned to less than or equal to. Okay, so what happens over there on the left?
The negative 6's cancel,
Okay,
and then you drop down your A.
A. And then over on the right, I got positive 7 times negative 6.
That's negative 42.
Negative 42. So on my number line, I'm going to put a negative 42. Now what?
You would have a closed circle going to the left.
Closed circle, shaded left. Okay, good. So if you multiply or divide by a negative, you must flip around the inequality. Okay. Questions about that? I am not sure if there's another one. If not,
There is.
okay, there's one I need to show you if there's not. Okay, there is. Oh, good, 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 good. Oh, yeah, okay. So, b over 2 greater than negative 5. Who wants to try this one? Okay, Tori, what are we doing?
You want to take b over 2, or you want to take 2 times 2, times cancel out, you take negative 5 times 2. And you get b is greater than negative 10.
Right. Now, one thing I want to point out, there is a negative in the problem, but we did not multiply by a negative. We multiplied by 2. So that does not change around the inequality. So, Tori, here's negative 10 on my number line. What am I going to do?
Open circle shaded to the right.
Open circle, shaded to the right. So just because there's a negative in the problem does not mean that you have to flip it around when you're multiplying. All right, one with a fraction in front of the variable, 2/3 times c. What I want you to do is multiply both sides by the reciprocal of that fraction. Anybody know what the reciprocal of 2 over 3 is? Yeah. Now let's see why that works. This is moving on me. Three over 2. Here's what happens. You see over on the left how I've got 3/2 times 2/3? Before we multiplied that, wouldn't we look for things that canceled out? And see how the 3's cancel, and now the 2's cancel, and everything cancels, and they all are 1s? So it would just be 1c, in other words, just c, less than or equal to. On the right, I'm going to put 10 over 1. Does anything cancel here? What cancels? Just say it.
10 turns into a 5 and 2 turns into a 1.
yeah, we can cancel a 2 out of each one of those. So 5 and a 1. So that's 15 over 1, which is really 15. So if there is a fraction with your variable, just multiply both sides by that reciprocal to make it fall out with the variable, and then whatever you have left on the right would be it. So c less than or equal to 15.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
All right, so it is c less than or equal to 15, so close circle on 15, shaded left. Okay, questions about that? We've got one more problem with kind of a word problem. It says 20 kids go to the Dairy Queen. I have a $50 bill to spend on them. How much can I spend on each kid, right? And solve an inequality for this situation. So 20 kids go to the Dairy Queen. I have a $50 bill to spend on them. How much can I spend on each kid? So what's the thing that we don't know?
How much money you can spend on each kid?
How much money I can spend on each kid. Pick a variable for that. M. Okay. So M is the money for each kid. Okay. So if we spend M on each kid and I have 20 kids going with me, what's the total I'm going to spend? How would I figure that out? 20M. Wow. Really? Okay, 20M. I can spend $50. So what inequality symbol is going to go between those two? Can I spend exactly $50? Yeah, because I have $50 set for it. Can I spend less than $50? Yeah, because then I could spend something on myself. So what symbol is it going to be?
Less than or equal to?
Less than or equal to. Good. 20M less than or equal to 50. Okay, and how am I going to solve that, Logan?
You take 20M and you divide it into 50.
So I'm going to divide both sides by
20.
20. Good. So 20 divided by 20 is gone, and M is less than or equal to, what's 5 divided by 2? Money-wise, Logan.
Oh.
$5 bill split in half would be
$2.50.
$2.50. So I could spend less than or equal to $2.50 on each kid. Okay, questions about that?